Hello. I thought today I might make some Khernips. And since this takes a while I start making it, I will talk about what it is and how it's used and so on, how I use it. I want to start this by saying that I am not any kind of scholar, expert, whatever. I've been practicing Hellenic Polytheist for about 2 years now. And I like to research. I like to find out facts as much as I can about the ancient world and ancient practices. But, no special scholarly sources, no degrees in history. My degree was in art and education, and I never did finish it either. So, but as I say, I like to be educated, so I've looked up some things. So Khernips is it's called holy water sometimes, lustral water, and lustral means something that's cleansing, for purification. So that's what Khernips is, which is water used for purification. And my understanding is that in ancient Greece, that just meant water. That you might use seawater or spring water if you wanted to use something special. But the point of purification was to wash, and the kind of water was less important than the act of washing. So this is very optional. Making a Khernips mix with something sacred or special or whatever is very, very optional. But I like doing it. I like being a little extra. I like doing the optional thing. And of course, since anciently, as I mentioned, seawater would be used, that's why the main component of the mix is going to be salt. I like to use kosher salt because it's nice and chunky and it makes the bottle look pretty when I'm done. And I mix in the bay leaves, just because. It's common in the community. I'm forgetting my sources. There's a source that talked about extinguishing burning branches in water for ritual use in Greece. My understanding is that was for temple purifications and big old ceremonies, not for people to wash with. So, there's no direct branches or leaves or herbs or anything in ancient Khernips. I just like it. So that's what I do. Bay leaves, by the way, hate to grind. I'm going to be here doing this a while, but can talk more about what I'm doing. I could do this faster. I have a spice grinder somewhere, but it's another thing, makes it special when you do it by hand. So I'll just enjoy myself. Now, of course, use Khernips for cleansing because you need to be cleansed of miasma. And the modern English sense of miasma has to do with sickness, and a lot of people think of it as impurity. It's something similar to the Christian idea of sin. And again, my understanding, I'm not a scholar, but my understanding is that miasma is not anything to do with sickness, certainly, and also not really anything to do with sin or impurity in that sort of sense. That what miasma is kind of literally dirt. Literal, mundane dirt. We're humans, we live grubby little mortal lives on this grubby little mortal planet, and the gods don't. The gods, live above us in a higher level of being, so they are not covered in grubby mortal dirt. And so it's just sort of, polite, good, nice to not bring our grubby little mortal dirt to them when we approach the gods. Oh, missed a leaf there. And so, so we wash. And that lustration, ancient cleansing in ancient Greece, was just literally washing. You washed your hands. You're a dirty person, you live a dirty life. Before you approach the gods, wash your gosh darn dirty hands. So, I kind of like that. I was raised Christian. I was raised with the idea that I was sinful and impure. My particular church has the phrase "an enemy to God," which anyway. I like the Greek idea better. I'm a mortal, regular person. I get dirty. Need to wash. It's not anything wrong with me. It's just something nice and polite and good I do when I want to approach the gods. And so just like making the Khernips mix, it's maybe, not even strictly necessary to wash. Like, I don't think anybody's going to get, we don't have myths about angering the gods by not washing your hands. Odysseus's folly wasn't failing to be clean. he managed to upset the gods a little more profoundly than that. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be here a while. So that's what I do because I want to, because it's a way to honor the gods. It's a nice thing to do. The little extra effort of grinding up some bay leaves and using kosher salt and making a little mix is a nice thing to do. It makes me feel, feel like I'm honoring the gods, like I'm doing something special, and I think that's great. And I think I'll end here rather than make you watch this for another, 20 minutes. But what I'm going to do, I'll finish grinding this up. Put it into the jar there, fill it the rest of with salt, shaky, shaky, shaky. And then I might film this later. I'll plop it on my altar and say a little prayer for somebody to bless it so that the mix is kind of, sanctified. I mean, if you're going to call it holy water, you ought to bless it. And then whenever I need to wash my hands, I'll take a couple pinches of that, put it in a bowl full of water, and then I have a nice little ritual to do, just to feel like going the extra mile for my gods, because that's what I want to do. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.